G'day everybody, and welcome back for some more chill survival, where I'm going to try and recover from dropping a rover into a giant canyon, I guess, and my dead pod and my lack of hydrogen and all of that stuff. But before that, you guys in chat are absolutely nuts. Thank you so much, Dragon PC75 for 50 gift subs. Thank you so much, Dragnon, for another 50 gift subs. Thanks on Fluffy Dave for a year. Thanks, Krasil for 19 months. Cabraman for 9 months. Terradeer for 19 months. Coda's Head Ninja for 6 months. Bionic 101 for the bits. And Jazz249 for another sub as well. Holy Jesus. That's... yeah. I normally try and do more of an intro when I start this, so that's not like this, but I couldn't. Wow. Thank you. You broke me at the intro. Well played. Well played. Anyway. Teal. Also, I decided to add the wrong way up skybox mod. If you guys remind me near the end of the stream, I might publish this to the workshop, because I think I've got it basically made. In fact, remind me toward the end so that I can take a nice screenshot for it and upload it and publish it so that everyone can play around with it if they want. Gah! Thank you, Justin Mechanic, for 20 gift subs. Jeez. Can anyone remember what I was doing last time other than building a giant rover that I don't have the resources for with a weird drill setup that I have no idea is actually going to work? Thanks, Kachin and Crazy Irish for the bits. Oh dear. Ooh, 1950s inspired base and rover. Ooh. We could... Do we make this look like a classic American diner as part of it? I should probably make the drill. I should probably stop turning on my jetpack. Oh! Ow. I need to make tools. No, I need to equip the basic tools. I need to make better tools. Apparently I started with that. Art Deco Rover, very bitter pill. That is true. Yes, I was going to use the control block for the crane. Let's have a think about this. So the control block will let me control this rotor and this hinge. So I'll be able to kind of spin things around to the side, lift it up, put it down, that sort of thing. And once it's out over the side, which with 3 pistons I should be able to reach a long way. In fact, let's try this. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Has Build Vision rolled back? Has Build Vision been forked? Like, is there a Build Vision 3 versus a 2.5? Because this is the old keybinds. Oh, he rolled it back. Oh, I'm so confused. Right. I was just getting used to the idea of it being that way. Oh. It's kind of sad that Dark Helmet had to change it back. Because I think some of the changes were good. Oh, well, there's some bugs. Okay, fair enough. That's different. Okay, so the drills, with those pistons alone, I'll be able to get comfortably out to the side. So I probably don't need 3 of them, but I think I made them 3 because my plan had been to do... I think I'm clutching at straws here, trying to remember what I was doing. Gah! GTL, thanks so much. Oh, thanks, Gary. The 20 gift subs. Yikes. That's nuts. That's between you lot. That's like 140? Something stupid like that. That is insane. Thanks to Stretch a lot. Oh god. Gary, Dragon PC, Dragnod, you guys, thank you so much. Right, so what I'm thinking of doing is having this bit come out to this hinge here, then this hinge can go up, and then have a second hinge that goes back, so that I can stack enough pistons to be able to use the turret controller to swing the whole thing out over the side, use just a couple of hinge reverses to drop the drill head down, and then it's just piston controls. And then I can flick the hinge and drill head back up and over, and then move it back into position. I don't know that the turret controller really benefits me in any meaningful way, but I want to use it, so I'm gonna. Yeah, Lauren, it does seem like they're working on rushing me to replacing the... I'm not even sure how broken the PC is anymore. PC. I was testing it out yesterday, and weirdly, it's sort of working, sort of not. I can get it to post now, but with the exact same setup a couple of days ago, it wouldn't even post. I'm very confused by it. I'm not annoyed that it's posting, but it's weirding me out, and I don't know what to... Uh-oh. Now, do about it. Other than keep testing the parts that I have, which is kind of what I'm doing. I've got them in my soon-to-be Lego setup on the table that I modified to make it at a better standing height slash kind of bar seat height. I've set it up down there in the garage, and I've just got it running right now to see if it's still running at the end of the stream. Because if it is, then there's an increased chance that I might try and reassemble it and see if I can get it running with the 3090 in it and everything else, and hopefully maybe be able to go back to it and then focus on things that are not PC broken related, which would be nice. I'm going to try and build ramps to do most of this, because I think it would be smart. As I have very minimal jetpack. I'm just going to keep doing... I'm not even going to try and save myself with a jetpack. I'm just going to accept it. If I fall and I die, I think it'll be funny. And everyone likes a good splatsy. Thanks, Bad Dog, for 28 months. Dang. There aren't many of you with that long. It's just about to say don't fall. Yeah, you know I'm always going to fall. I'm usually going to survive though, which is weird. Alright, let's clean up my things to my more usual setup. Although I don't have... What? What didn't I build for catwalk? Oh. I'm just going to do a thing. Just because I want to set up my hotbars more like they usually are. Someone was asking during the last stream about how I normally do that sort of thing. What my usual setup actually is. And I'll go through it in a second. Hey, thanks Just a Mechanic for the 15 months on top of the gift subs. I guess that's one way to phrase it, Eisen. We're supposed to fall for you, not you fall for us. Well, I don't know. It can work both ways. Thanks, Composter64. Right. Now. What? Oh, what? I'm confused. Anyway, so my usual thing is tools. If I'm playing something with a bit more hand-to-hand combat, I'll put my rifle here, but single-player stuff, I rarely need my rifle, so it often doesn't go there. It normally goes, say, on toolbar 3, where I'll put the painting tool and the rifle. Toolbar 2 is normally the interior wall blocks, the catwalk, the railing, rotor, hinge, and piston. As well as conveyor junction, small conveyor, and it seems to randomly be either connector or gyroscope. But that's kind of roughly what I do. That's how I like to have it anyway. I often end up with a random shambles of stuff, but this is how I like to do it. I like to have the rotor, piston, and hinge pretty accessible, the conveyors accessible, and those decorative, the basic decorative pieces. But the second hotbar often ends up getting a bit messed up. And I often end up duplicating stuff between 2, 3, and 4, because I'm hopeless that way. I love that we are sticking to Perry the Platypus Teal. This says almost vanilla. What mods are installed? Currently, I have Reavers, Assertive, the most recent Assertive mod, the one that's was originally the Rival AI one, but because MES and Rival AI are merged now, it's not exactly accurate to say that way. I've got the Wrong Way Up Skybox, which I'll publish on the workshop at the end of the stream properly because it's unlisted at the moment. And I've got Build Vision, Sneaky Sounds, Screen Gunk Be Gone, and I'm pretty sure I've got the paint gun. Yeah. Probably should have put clear camera on, now that I think about it. My kids are fairly obsessed with Splitsy. My 5-year-old is watching Wrong Way Up with me during lunch. My 9-year-old is rewatching Survival Impossible. Oh, that's cool. Hey, thanks, Droffel. I'm glad to provide some random inspiration for your own builds. Can I reach from that block everything that I need to do? Yes, easily. Although what I'll probably do is this. Ow. Ooh, how much battery does this have left? 2 days, that's fine. Just get some health back. Survival Impossible will be returning. Survival Impossible was supposed to return last week. Well, not return. Was supposed to be recorded last week, but then my PC died, and then I had to spend time trying to fix that and sort that side of things out, and I'm still working through all of that, which is frustrating. But yeah, my plan had been last Wednesday, today being Thursday for me, last Wednesday to sit down, jump into Survival Impossible, and even if I didn't fully record, just kind of go through and think about how I want to approach the next episode, because there's a lot of work to be done to make a decent episode out of where I'm at, and I want to make sure that, like, series like Survival Impossible and Survival Maybe, there's a lot of personal pride wrapped up in them, and I like them to be as good as I can make them. So sometimes what that means is I get to that stage where the perfect becomes the enemy of the good, and I should just stop trying to make it perfect. I should probably just try and make something good, because then I'll end up making something better than nothing. Just what I've made for the... Uh-oh. 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 Oh, I'm not going to be able to get past there without dying. Beep. Now, let's fix this from this end so we can see what's happening. Oh, there's even more pistons. How many pistons have I got? They were not happy. Huh. Delightful. Oh no, this is how I'm gonna do it. Yep. That. Then I need some interior plate. Should really put some lights down as well, since it's now a lot darker at night with this skybox. Yeah, Trax, I think the only reason I got away with that particular episode of clanging weirdness is because this is a static grid currently. So it can't fly away. If that had happened once the rover was released, I think there would have been a decent chance for it to have disappeared in a giant explosion. Hey, Wasted. Yes, I am very suspicious you are correct on that. That seems very likely that it is a recursive issue where it's kind of... Oh. Ow. It's kind of like waves amplifying each other as they go round and round and round. Whoa! Dragon PC! Thank you for the 20,000 bits! Holy crap. Wow. Right. What was I doing? Now, if we go around here a bit, I can fall to the ground again. So, Wasted, how did your Agaris at War playthrough go yesterday? Uh-oh. I just saw lightning. And now I hear thunder. And it's pouring rain outside in the real world, so... Yay for immersion. So what I'm thinking of doing here is nesting some pistons in to try and get enough reach that I can get deep enough. I don't think I need to nest too many, because most of the resources will be no deeper than 80 meters below the deck of the rover, or at least the height of the... where that hinge... Oh, what?! Rude. Curse you, Zeus! Ow! Oh, alright, this is just suffocating. I've only got 25 oxygen left, so I'm just going to let myself suffocate and heal myself at the survival kit when I need to. Ah, dear. Ow!
Is critical.
Ow! At that time I got struck. Spent a lot of time just chatting and working out mods, etc., getting the water-only jetpacks working. Oh, that's right. I did wander back in between my troubleshooting and heard you talk about getting your jetpack mod working to a power where it sort of only works for swimming, which is quite a cool concept. I should really put an antenna down somewhere. Since this whole dying to storms things is meant to be a pertinent thing. Do. Grunt, grunt, grunt. Ow! Oh, I've got a full tank of oxygen again now. Gah! What that hit? Stupid space engineers lightning. The reason I'm keeping my helmet open is because I have no ice, though I have no means of getting more oxygen other than dying. And that feels cheesy. I don't like to just let myself die. I know I did just die, but getting struck by lightning is kind of, you know. Oh yeah, O2 tank and vent. I can get more oxygen. Yes, I will curse Poseidon in the desert. Thanks, Wasted. Yeah, what else just got hit? Oh man, having this many frames around when the storms are this bad is not smart. I did a dum-dum. No one has mastered the... What the... Like Kappa. Yeah, it's so annoying. Yeah! It's so annoying the way Capac says what the and doesn't actually tell you what he's what the-ing. I've ranted enough about how I think Lightning is a terrible game mechanic. I'm just choosing to deal with it just so that I can feel I'm saying that from a more experienced position of having actually dealt with it a bit more. Oh, it hit my piston. Okay, fine. I get it. I have to weld all this up. Ow! Dang it! Seriously? Am I getting electrocuted? Like, it'd be kind of cool if I was getting electrocuted because I was standing on a giant metal grid. But that's not it. The lightning is specifically striking me. So, I've thought about this a few times, and Something I feel like I would like to do is annoy Keen until they make it so that lightning is off by default. Because lightning should be off by default and should be an option you can turn on like asteroids, like meteors. Oh, what just got destroyed then? Yeah. I'm doing the more supports thing. Yeah, I should have, what I would normally do when playing, Space Engineers is I would normally actually use the mod that turns off lightning's damage. So, yeah, you still see it, you'll still see strikes, and you get that whole atmosphere, but it doesn't ever damage anything. Yeah. Anyway, I said before I've ranted enough about lightning in the past. I don't think I need to bring it up again. Seriously? I was clearing. I thought I was safe. What did I just lose then? And why do I see a wheel on the ground? Ugh. Yeah, one of the things about lightning that irks me is that the only way to fix it is to build decoys, and that's not a really interesting thing to engineer. It hits you randomly, it's inexplicable damage that occurs to new players and makes it really hard for them, and that's why I think it should be off by default. Thanks, Kitamaru! So yeah, I think, I think it should be off by default. I feel that quite strongly. And the more I think about the new player experience, the more I think that it was a terrible decision by Keen to add it in where it might have a negative impact on that experience when the new player experience is tough enough in Space Engineers as it is. Ooh, which way did I do those? Oh man. That way. Yeah, I know that, Wasted. I know. Although I'd argue that cyberhounds are a better idea than lightning. Which I know might be contentious, but I reckon, I reckon cyberhounds, at least if they'd been more functional, would have been a better idea than lightning. Yeah, exploding dogs are better than lightning. Exploding robo cop dogs, 100% better than lightning. Because you could interact with them in a meaningful way. Lightning has no meaningful interaction beyond, oh, I'll build an antenna. And don't get me wrong, the cyberhounds were a terrible idea, but I'd still think lightning's worse. And we were able to turn off the cyberhounds even when they were new, weren't we? Or am I misremembering? Because I never actually... I'll be honest, I never really played with the cyberhounds because I hate the idea of killing dogs. Oh, I think I know why I never experienced the frustrations of the cyberhounds. They came out during... I feel like they might have... Oh, did they come out during or was it before then? I'm almost certain I was playing on modded planets at the time they came out. Modded planets which wouldn't have spawned them. And so I never really had to deal with them. As a result. Like, because even in my first Let's Play series, like, survival maybe, I never had to deal with any of that stuff because I modded the planet to be basically what they then introduced as the default with the survival update. I got rid of uranium. I made things a bit... I made that initial starting phase a bit longer. Yeah, they were explosive at first. I certainly wasn't as involved in the general, like, space engineers community in those days, so I probably am just remembering with rose-tinted glasses my experience and not the degree of frustration that was probably there. Because it was just because I didn't experience it and I wasn't, like, hanging out on the subreddit and all that sort of stuff at the time. The amount of frustration out there just didn't have a big impact on my memory of the events, I suspect. Whereas these days it's impossible for me to escape it all. So if something's really frustrating people, I tend to know about it. Passageways, yes. Are we using the wacky inflatable crane arm to retrieve the Knievel rover? I don't think so. Don't think that'd be a good idea for me. I'm not sure about whether I'm going to retrieve the rover or not. And if I do retrieve it, how I'm going to. I don't think I even GPS'd where it died. Oh no, doomed buggy, 9.18 k's away. I'll need to get this thing mobile regardless to do it. Retrieval Knievel. Nice one, Duke. Rescue it with an over and... Okay. I think I know how I want to try and rescue it, just because I'm pretty sure it's going to explode. If I can get this thing up and running to a level that I'm happy, we should go there and make a temporary winch. Wasted. Shields are the most boring combat mechanic in Space Engineers. Change my mind. Wasted? No, I will not change your mind because I kind of agree. Shields are a thing you add in Space Engineers when you want to build something pretty and still get into fights. And the reason you want to do that is because welders aren't effective enough for you to be able to repair your ship in a timely fashion without getting frustrated about the damage that you took. At least that's where the motivation always came from for me. Altair, the best way to test stuff like that is go in creative mode and just copy paste things and delete bits and see what's causing the problem. I reckon. Without shields, the walrus would not have existed. The bitter pill did exist without shields. Capac had built it before we had any access to enough stuff for large grid shields. In survival unlikely. Yeah, exactly, Laws. The motivation for shields tends to come from the pain of repair. Which to me says that it's not a good thing to add if you're wanting interesting combat. Because all it's really doing is making combat less interesting so that you don't have to repair. Because that's how you make the combat less interest. Like, that's how you fix it. If you make combat less interesting, stuff's easier to repair. Not, Altair, I don't think so in terms of what you're asking, unless I'm misunderstanding what the question was. There's no, like, broken physics thing that'll tell you. Or at least one that's useful. Like, for me, the better way of managing the combat side of things is make combat better balanced so that things are more interesting. Make repair a more interesting engineering challenge so that you can build something that will do the repairs after each round of combat. And so you have this give and take and this interesting decision, like these interesting decisions to make, strategies to decide upon, that sort of stuff. To just whack a shield on and as many batteries as you can possibly fit until you have reactors, and then it's as many reactors as you can possibly fit. Not super interesting. And also, the thing that makes space engineers is that when this stuff crashes into the ground, it explodes in an interesting way. When it gets shot, when it gets hit by another ship, it explodes in an interesting way, and in a way that, even if not accurate, is at least fun to watch. And shield combat just doesn't fit that. Shield combat, I've said this before, shield combat turns space engineers into Empyrean. Yeah, and I completely agree with you, Wasted. With your plan for Vanguard being make armor blocks more effective. That should be the first balance pass to combat, is increase the effectiveness of armor. They did a start to it with small grid blocks being able to take a tiny bit of Gatling fire, but I think even small grid blocks need to be buffed beyond where they are. Especially because they buffed it and then added bigger guns. So now we need bigger buffs. And then you need bigger guns. And then you need bigger shields. And then you need bigger guns. And then you need bigger shields. That is the wrong block. But the reality is, I think guns in Space Engineers and weapons in Space Engineers have been more effective than our ability to protect ourselves for a long time, and so the balance needs to swing back a long way the other way. Yeah, and structural blocks that aren't arm blocks would potentially help make things a bit better. With ship design and vehicle design. Laws. As good as your points are, Splitsy, I can't help but realize that this is from someone who seems to favor treating ships and planes as battering rams. Well, that and I did that a lot when I had shields too. That's how I lost the chomper. Although that was not an intentional ram. Most of my rams aren't intentional, it just happens. I get target fixated. Yeah, exactly, Wasted. The issue with shields is that the mechanic with them is really simple, and so you can always game it to get maximum power out of your shields. To make shields have a complex bit of engineering to them, I think would be putting shields possibly beyond a lot of people's willingness to engage with them at all. Nuts. It's not liking doing that now. Used to be happy with this. I'll put the spacer in. Oh, wait a second. I know why it's not happy. Yeah. I know. Do. Images. I like, that my... What? You somehow swung just a tiny bit past 90. I like that my latest plane in Wrong Way Up is, okay, it's apparently this that's in the way. Should I make more space, or should I try and make this work? I'm just gonna make more space. Go back to the old way of building things. Yeah, I suppose force wall style shields where you... But then, how are you going to make force wall style shields where you have to build a block and it projects a barrier in front of itself? But then how do you make it so that, in an interesting way, how would you make it so that people don't just spam down a whole bunch of those? Like, is it going to be as heavy as armor? Like the block, it's the block that you use to generate the force wall. Would that be an adequate solution to it? I don't know. Like, I think you might be able to get some benefit out of something that uses lots of... I lost my drill rig in that lightning storm. Wondered why there was a hinge that was incomplete. Yeah, and I kind of agree, Wasted, that the bubble shields look cool. It's a really cool mod. And I know some people like it for how they like to play against NPCs, and I am the last person who would criticize someone for their choice of how they play a PvE game. I just don't want it part of my vanilla experience. And really, that's what we're talking about here. We're all talking about what we want as part of the vanilla Space Engineers experience. And for me, I want Space Engineers to be a unique game. I want it to be special. And to keep it special, it needs to not have shields. That's just what I reckon about it. So it's really weird. This keeps showing up a ghost of just the piston part at certain positions. Yeah, I think I'll stack this horizontally. Let's see how much of it we can actually get done this time. Oh no, a fly has made it into my shed and it's making a really annoying buzzing sound. Thanks, Charlie, for leaving the door open. Weld, Reavers. I mean, it could happen. I don't think I'm going to get hit by Reavers. I don't have that much stuff. Oh, that is one big fly. Huh. It's the buzzing fly, kayak shaped. Oh, that's very distracting. 1 second, I'm going to deal with this thing. Because it is very distracting having it flying around my head. There we go. Dealt with. It managed to fly out the window, and now it is gone. Next, we need to see the stream go down on a Twitter feed that another system repair is needed. Yeah, Imicat, it 100% is coming back. It was meant to come back sooner, but I got computer problems that delayed the return of the edited stuff. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. Something different. Don't need that extra piston, so I'm just gonna go with conveyors all the way along. To go back and then stick some more pistons going forward. Especially with how pistons are behaving with their hitboxes not being as small as they were for a bit. Yeah, it's just if we still had just Gatling fire, small arms fire, and rockets, having interior turrets that actually worked as rocket interceptors would be fantastic. That would have been a great way to decrease incoming damage and increase fun. Thanks, King Heracles, for 22 months. Yeah, I don't know whether the change with the pistons was intentional or accidental, but it is annoying. Yeah, Duke, I think that's kind of the attitude that I have, which is love that shields are a mod, don't want to see shields in vanilla. I'm not sure when it happened. I think it might have been Warfare 1. The piston hitboxes went back to their really old school, bigger hitbox. Although it's sort of somewhere in between, it feels like to me. It's not fully their old school horribleness, but it's also not the good way that they were after, I think, Sparks of the Future, maybe? Where they were small enough that you could nest pistons right next to each other in large grid. Now it doesn't seem to be happy to do that again. Under most circumstances. It's inconsistent and I'm confused by it. And it scares me. No, but it does confuse me. So yeah, I don't know what happened, and I don't know exactly when it happened, but they were really good for a time, and now they're not really good again. Well, would help if I had an interior plate, wouldn't it? Wasteland was the hitbox update. Oh yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. Keen says the next update will be the community quality of life request focused. What's top of my list? Top of my list would be get rid of lightning being the default. Turn off lightning. Seriously, I genuinely think it does so much harm to the early game for new players that Keen is shooting themselves in the foot by having it. My next would be combat rebalance. Because most of the other things that I want are not quality of life changes. They're stuff that is done with mods that would be very good to add to the core game. Things like the spawning mechanics from the modular encounters spawner. Or system, sorry. The AI-enabled bots and how well they... and that style of gameplay. That stuff would change the game in a really exciting way, but that's not a quality of life change. That is a genuine big game changer. I'm not sure they're ready for vanilla at this stage, but I think they should. I think they have a reasonable chance of getting to that point. Yeah, Gannett, playing without MES is something I also struggle with, because the drive that Lucas provides us all by having an enemy that we want to interact with adds so much to the game, especially for people who like a PvE experience, or who play single player. It helps make the world feel real. Ow. Yeah, they did talk positively about adding some PvE content, but I wait to see what it actually becomes, because the economy update was supposed to be giving us a lot of that, and it didn't, sadly. Yeah, either disable lightning or make it do something interesting, not just destroy your stuff. Yeah, actually, Laws, I'd be on board with that as a change, where we have the ability to delete voxel changes. Since they've got the restore voxels thing that you can do with the cleanup, in theory, I guess, depending on how it's all set up, you potentially might be able to have a setup where you can have a tool that resets an area of voxel to its original planetary setup. I personally would love that, because I love having the area around my base neat. And so I would love to fix little crash divots and things like that to make the space neat again. But being able to do it in a controlled fashion that, as the player, you're deciding what happens and have to pay something for it, would be nice. And being able to do it around your grids. Obviously, it'd have the same limitations as Voxel Hands does with how close you can be to non-static grids. But I think that would be an awesome change. And a use for gravel. Yeah. I mean, and even if not a survival mode tool, if they had a creative mode tool that reset voxels, oh, that would be amazing even still. Dang it, Laws, why'd you have to tell me about that now? I'm just dreaming of how useful that would be. How much I would actually end up using it. I don't want a tool that modifies voxels text. The reason for that is it's too easy to weaponize, and you run into the same sort of issues that you run into with build and repair, where it really becomes a weapon, not a tool. That's why I think reset voxels would be nice, because you really can't weaponize that. Or I'm not being creative enough to think of how you can't weaponize it. But it's not as easy to weaponize as just being able to place down a floating voxel. Because if you can place down a floating voxel, you can weaponize something very, very easily. Alright. Thoughts. Ooh, I like this idea. This is stupid. I'm gonna do it. So, looking at the end here, I have a choice. I can either put 3 drills across to ensure that it's always going to create enough clearance for all the pistons to extend down. Or I could stick a rotor on the end here and put 5 drills across to ensure that it's always going to clear enough space. Or I can do something weird. And I choose weird. Less efficient, more weird. I want to set this hinge up on a timer so it swings back and forth as it goes down. Because, why not? This vanilla Space Engineers, well, pretty much vanilla. Not like resources are going to be super hard to come by. Actually, you're right. I could use the custom... I could use the custom turret block and just kind of sweep with my mouse or with my keyboard. I think timers might be a better idea. And yes, laws. I choose weird. This is why I managed to cohabitate with Capac for so long without incident. Well, without permanent injuries anyway. You gotta go weird sometimes. All I'm hearing is I came in like a wrecking ball. I wish I had more confidence in how much you could use of certain tracks like that without getting pinged for DMCA stuff. Because I would totally mess with Capac and play that every time he joins in late on Wrong Way Up and things like that. Just to annoy him. Alright, we don't need this stuff now, so let's grind it away. Oh, and me saying that wasn't cue for chat to start talking about all sorts of horrible copyright issues. Let's not talk about that stuff. It's been talked about enough. By people who know a lot more about it than I do. Just noticing. Tex, are you showing that you know all the words to that song? As you convert it into Capac focused lyrics? Fair. I'll let you play the I used Google for the lyrics card. I'm not criticizing the song so much as surprised that it's Texas style. quickly take everything I can. So I'm not gonna be easily able to get to this drill afterwards. Production. Drill. Make me another 2. I've got enough wheels. I have a prime number of wheels. I have 11. It's okay. I don't feel like this is a situation where I need the number of wheels being the sum of the square of 2 primes or some horrific thing like that. I think it's fine. Thank you for reminding me to turn on inertia tensor. For the jiggles. No stuff. Need to repair my drill. Oh. Alright, we're gonna have to do it this way. Sorry, Hinge. I mean, drill. I need your stuff. And take the hinge part. I'll leave the rest of it, but I'm going to need at least that much to get this to be a functional drill again. I can use jetpack. I don't have much fuel, so I'm avoiding using it for the most part. Very oh. I'm out now. Nuts. Alright then. Fine. Gonna be that way. What am I gonna do?
Energy low.
So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pistons on this. I really should try and build this large grid now, shouldn't I? But I don't think I've got enough. You almost did an atmospheric powered forklift. I need something. With what materials I've got, do I build a large grid set up here? I don't want to have to I'm just going to have to rebuild what I already did, aren't I? Right. Add small head. is this not turning? Huh? Okay, I'm confused. So, hinge is on. Show no chance it's on. Hinge lock is off. Torque is on. We are heading to negative. We're currently at slightly... What? Weird. Okay, Sharon Ocean's was doing something weird to it. Very odd. Where's my O2H2 gen? There's my converter. I had 8 pistons before, so I need more than that. There we go. Now I should be able to place them all down. Ow. Jump too far. Hey, thanks, Cormus. Oh, gimme. Grind on the thing.
Inventory full. Energy critical.
Okie dokie. Three. 4. Yeah, wasted. On wrong way up, the fall damage is... fall damage in Space Engineers is weird. It's even weirder when you've got lag. You falling a quarter of that distance and dying in wrong way up is kind of how I expect things to be. Me not dying here is weird. Don't quite know what it is with me and managing to survive falls like this.
No energy.
I cannot remove the shrub flying in the air. It is there forever. Splitsy, have you thought about redoing Never Surrender now that we have new weapons? I hadn't actually. Interesting thought. One thing with the Never Surrender scenario is trying to come up with an interesting way to decide when you're going to go and start your fight. Because it's super easy to kind of just wait it out so long that you've got a massive ship and can easily overcome most of the drones. Time limits I've done for it, but I'm not sure what else would be an interesting way to set up when to go and fight. And of course your enemies aren't going to have the better weapons, so the better weapons that you can bring along could well just make it so that it's a cakewalk. Make it really quite dull. I don't know. Has anyone in chat played Never Surrender since Warfare 2 and used the new weapons and seen how much difference it makes in the way you fight and how successful you are at fighting? Hey. I feel like I did pretty well with my aero mod plane in the last Wrong Way Up. I designed that in survival during the stream and it flew reliably somehow. And I'm going to ignore Wasted's comments that Drago made it easier to do that. To be fair, everyone's flying now is just pure power instead of using the aerodynamics. Thinking back on the start of Wrong Way Up, I kind of regret not specifying that large thrusters were excluded, or not excluding them from the beginning. Because I think if we'd excluded large thrusters from the outset, plane design could have been a bit more interesting, because there would have been more challenges between lift and mass, and slower combat. Which sounds like a bad thing, but I think is actually a good thing. Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. Wasted, if you slow things down, people just die. But also, I would hope that with slightly slower combat and harder to build, like, so that we're not just basically using real-world jet fighters, maybe we'd have had a bit more fun with actually doing aerobatic maneuvers during combat. Like that early fight between you and Kanajashi where you were both actually flying like real planes for a good chunk of it. That was really fun to watch. And I wonder if we'd have had we stuck with some simpler planes for longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Would we have gotten more of that? I don't know the answer, but it's something I've thought about. It's like, wonder if that would have changed things. But it's not something I plan on changing. It's just I spend a lot of time thinking about these things. Because it's how I am. Right. Is there anything I can do to optimize this a bit more? Probably not. Because it'll make it a hassle if I make this thing wider, because I won't be able to fit it down into the thing that I'm trying to do. Alright, drills it is. Would loads of small though wasted have been heavy enough to have limited some of the power and allowed physics to be the way that we limited those things? Or do you think you would just be able to put enough small thrusters on there with enough... Well, if I'd nerfed batteries like I thought of doing, or at least small grid batteries like I thought of doing, would that have potentially created that balance that we were both hoping to get when we were talking about it beforehand? Do you think, based on what we know now? You think you could still do it with small? Fair enough. You, like, genuinely, you know the mod a whole lot better than I do. It was just something I was musing about. Would need to limit how much power is allowed on the grid, and then limit the number of weapons to mean that combat isn't insta-gib. Yeah, I definitely think the weapon spam thing is a big issue with any sort of player versus player combat. Less of an issue with PvE stuff, because more like, because you know the opposition, you know how much it's going to have. Yeah, I think our current number of weapons that we have on our grids should probably be the cap that we stick at, because any more than that and it's just going to become silly. And I still have no idea how the don't feel like I've got a good feel yet on how the Warfare 2 weapons have an impact. Should do like World War I style open cockpit with handguns. Yeah, I think being unhittable is the best tactic. Completely agreed, Wasted. Oof. Cesium. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier. That is a bit of a trolly comment. Weapon spam wouldn't be as much of a problem with shields. Shields create weapon spam as a problem, I think, in a lot of situations. I'm not sure if it was meant as a trolly comment, but just based on what we were talking about earlier, it certainly kind of feels that way. It's like, oh, no, no. I made the drill head slightly wider, so I'm gonna just make it pass along. So I think I only had one conveyor between. Yeah, weapon spam would be worse with shields because you'd have to spam more weapons to break the shields, and then you'd need more. Then people would make bigger shields, and it's that constant armor. It's that constant power creep issue. And I feel it's more noticeable with shields because of how easy it is to make them super efficient and super effective. Can I get to this one with build vision? Yes. Oh, come on. Does not like having shared inertia tensor on that hinge. Hey, thanks, Omni5. At front of ship, controlled turret, but with hydro thrusters pointed back. Would it act as a tug arm? Probably? Not very well, but probably? Could you steer? I don't know. I actually, could I steer? No. Could someone steer? Possibly? Thanks for the bits, Kitamaru. How goes Drilly Elliot? Oh dear. The drill is reconstructed after the stupid lightning storm and is now functional again. How many more pistons is it going to take till I get to the end? Oh, like 5 or so. I was curious that if an engine on a custom turret could be a simple enemy-seeking method to control a small ship. So the ways that I've seen people use the custom turret controller to create a self-propelled and controlled drone is thrusters on overrides with heavy gyros mounted on rotors. And those gyros are held on override. So the ship effectively is trying to move itself against the weight of those gyros. And so the rotor... I'm not explaining this well. But yeah, there are ways to do it using gyros on override that are trying to hold position against the ship turning against them. And because the gyros do a better job of that, the ship moves instead. So instead of the rotor... the head being moved, the rotor base moves because of the way the gyros are set up. Europa start with no jetpack would be a hard start, but it's basically a space start with no jetpack. And the thing that always stops me from doing anything remotely close to space with no jetpack, especially in single player, is there's no way to, like, if your mag boots fail, which happens really easily sometimes, you're dead. You're gone. There's nothing you can do about it unless you've got like a retrieval drone or something like that, which now that I say it sounds kind of cool. Anyway, sorry, as I slightly get distracted there. Now that I say that, there is actually, that's a perfectly reasonable way to have to protect yourself. You have a drone that you fly out to bring yourself back, so hopefully you don't get shot off at fast enough speed that you can't catch yourself before you run out of signal range. Have I gotten any reasonable amount of iron yet? As we talk about random stuff while waiting on me getting this drill to work properly. Yes, the emergency response drone is something that I would like to do. I probably didn't need to scrape down the walls, but I was just a bit worried that I might jiggle enough that the drills would hit. And I did technically expand the hole by a meter, so that's not nothing. How close that is to the bottom now. Looks like it's getting there. One more piston and then we're at the bottom? I think, maybe? Yes, clearly Splitsy hasn't had enough fun with ravines. Now I have to make one. Yeah. I always like making a good doom hole. Yep. The leafitating bush is still there. Yeah, the Rust Mechanics mod is an interesting application of Rexar's atmospheric damage script. I like the fact that it kind of does the repaint. I think if I were to use it, I'd have to mess around with it a bit and see how much I'd need to tweak the settings to get something that I'd be happy to use. The Rust mod does appear to change textures, which could equally be really annoying after you repair the thing, because you'll have to paint it again. But if you had it slow enough that it'd be like, you know, once a vehicle has survived long enough to be old enough to potentially be rusty, it gets that little bit of rustiness to it. That'd be interesting, because then you'd have this fully repaired but rusty old vehicle, because you've had it for ages. Yeah, Wasted. I would also like those atmospheric effects to be small grid only. The problem is the way the script was made, it doesn't work like that. You'd have to redo a lot of it. Although you've looked into it as well in the past. From my understanding of it, it's not doable because of the type of block definition it uses isn't a grid size defined one. Because it just uses like the name that's in the G menu here. So you can't define it by block size. Which is sad. Rather than use... I don't know why it doesn't use subtype ID. But I imagine someone a lot cleverer than me could fix that. But yeah, that was what I was trying to do at the start of Wrong Way Up. I was meaning for it to be small grid only, but I couldn't work out a way to make that happen. Because the acid rain in Wrong Way Up was supposed to be small grid only, so we didn't have to repair the big Rover, but we just had to get the planes under cover. Alright, I now have stone. Which I should have had before. Splitsy was dope and didn't really keep any even slight eye on how much I had. Thanks, William. Thanks for gifting Wasted a sub. Oh, here we go, just for that.
Did press P. I pressed P and I liked it. Ha ha ha
I hope that worked. Thanks for the text one as well. I bet you will, Wasted, you monster. You'll do it again. You'll like it more. Also, Wasted, hope you don't mind me using your voice like that. I had meant to bring that out in Wrong Way Up for the first time, but this just seemed perfect. Yeah, so the bots in Wrong Way Up, there was a mix of the AI-enabled bots and real people in the first stream. Then the AI-enabled bots were causing memory leak issues, so I had to remove them, and then since then we've just had real people. Which is seriously cool, and I'm seriously grateful for, because it is a very unique thing to be able to enjoy. To have people come along to make what you do more fun. That's real special. New song from Katy Perry. I pressed the P and I liked it. If only I knew how to auto-tune. Although I'm pretty sure Wasted's voice would not auto-tune that well to that song. Now, let's make those drills again. Up I go, around and round. Only stopping when I hit the ground. The bots for Wrong Way Up have typically been between 3 and 6 people. Alrighty, next piston. Do I have an excess of stone hanging around? No, I do not. Yeah, the bots are in full creative mode. That's why there have to be certain rules of engagement and things like that to make it so that it's an interesting combat, and it's just me trying to give them some guidance more than it is me telling them how to do things. Because, like, as you guys probably know, I try very hard to have a bit of a story behind what's happening, not in terms of roleplay story, but as in some sort of narrative and way to make things feel interesting. And so when you're starting to play with people who have so much control over what could happen, for me and for them, it was a lot nicer for us all to have a clearer idea of what the expectations might be. Yeah. Yeah, TFE, you are going to be remembered for sitting on a toilet and driving into an ice mining hole. Is that better or worse than being remembered for destroying the first jalopy? I don't have an answer for that. But, you know, something to ponder upon. And hey, driving into a hole is probably marginally better than being remembered for forgetting the parachutes. Yep. The day I forgot the chutes was the day I forever realized I would always have to bow down to wasted superiority with wheels. Even though... Was that hover? No, that wasn't hover at that point. That was still wheeled. Amaru, I didn't plumb the thing in because I don't quite have enough resources to do it. I might once this drill's finished, but I'm not quite there, and if I can get this drill system built, then I can just use it to drill, and then I'll have then I can just move everything onto the rover and just forget about this base altogether. I wasn't expecting it to take this long, is the short answer. With the number of trips going back up and down. Yeah, true text fire, but it's even worse than that. Everybody forgets chutes sometimes. Not everybody forgets chutes just before we jump off a cliff. But not everybody forgets chutes just before we jump off a cliff after they've produced a tutorial on how the parachutes work. Because, yeah, I'd done that reasonably recently from when that happened. Yeah, exactly as Wasted said. I feel like Wasted was even the one who brought that up at the time. And since then, I have learned when testing blocks for a tutorial, do it in survival mode with creative mode tools enabled, not in creative mode. Ugh. Because in creative mode, you only needed a single canvas in the thing, not the 5 that you actually need to make the large block ones work. I'm intentionally not closing my visor because I don't have the oxygen. I'm just going to suffocate regardless. Yeah, I put in a single canvas in each block, and you need 5 to deploy a large grid parachute. I did a dum-dum. I kind of want to put 5 of these on here. And the reason I'm kind of preserving my oxygen is there may be times when I'll get injured more quickly because there's less oxygen, not just low. Because I think it does impact how quickly you die. Wait, what'd I miss? Something in chat. Oh, people giving Black Shadow more inspiration. Love it. More inspiration for those cool cartoons is is welcome. And also Black Shadow, 100% zero pressure on making any of those things. As long as it's fun, I'm totally on board. But if you're getting frustrated, nah. Make more drill. Make more drill. Every time. Oh, I keep forgetting to put the vent on. I'm such a... Oh, Splitsy! People were saying that earlier. Why have you still not done it? You dope. Close your helmet. What is wrong with me today? Ugh. Don't anyone answer that. Actually, I'm really glad Capac's not here for that one. Vents the new canvas. Ouch, Laws. Ouch. Capactitis. The disease that makes you miss the obvious. Must remember vent. Must remember vent. Drill rig's almost good though. Oh, that was a mistake. Yes, Lazy. Don't know if anyone's mentioned it yet, but you might want to put a vent on the survival kit. Thank you. How do I do this to myself? In Survival Impossible, I drilled heaps of ice before I could do the vent because I had to drill heaps of ice to get enough materials to build the vent because of having scrap on, so I couldn't repurpose stuff on the lander. So it was more complex for that one. There were legitimate reasons why I had not built a vent. Ooh, just worried for a second on that jump. I'm thinking it might be Omni 5. I think I might move the survival kit onto the big Rover. And then build a vent. Because we now have drill on big Rover. Flimsy, flimsy drill. I don't have a good reason for not building a vent. I clearly got distracted by the conversations we were having and the chat we were having, so I just didn't... It just didn't happen. I'm surprised by that, Omni 5. It's not hard to... Like, it's a 5. Like, I wasn't going to read it as Omni 5. Read your name that way. Although now that I say that, I kind of want to. Huh. I need a tank. The vent will not fill off the survival kit. Interesting. No, that's piped. To... Oh, no, it's not. It's not. Those are disconnected there. I see. Let's try that again. Yep, filling me. There we go, it was just not piped. One thing I do need to remember is to turn it off. Hinge base. Mining. Oh, nope. Mining, rig, hinge, drill, head. Okay. I will be back in just a moment. Need to take a quick bio break. Let's do... the storm's going. Let's do the O. Oh! Thanks for the gift sub, Doc Racer. Be right back. Looking at the hourglass, I kind of wonder whether I should re-record that without the vignette effect on. Make it look cleaner. Let's get rid of these because I shouldn't need them now. It's going to have to fall. Okay, that was unexpected. Who had drill head so heavy it tips over? I didn't. Nope. Just getting these all out of the way because they're going to be a high risk for causing issues. Okay, we need a much, much stronger hinge. Wait a second. Why isn't this moving? Oh, why are you being like this? Positive RPM, it should be moving. Oh. Are the drills stuck? Maybe? They could be. Alright. Let's go underneath and see if I can put another link in place so that I can grind off those blocks that they're resting on. Yeah, the torque's up as high as it can go already. Use
Fuel
my last
low.
hydrogen.
Fuel critical.
Make sure the thing is really high so when it... No. I mean, the RPM is up. I reckon they're stuck in here. Yeah. Oh, that did move. That's tilting further. Hinge lock off. Share inertia tensor off. I think it's got to be... These are all share inertia tensor on. They kind of need to be. But normally a hinge would be able to... A large grid hinge would be able to manage this. Engine complete. Oh, the hinge is missing a computer from when it got damaged by the lightning. Ha. Thank you, chat. Tex, I was going to go the turret controller for this, just because I want to use it more. And get a feel for how I can use it sensibly on a rig like this. Yeah, there we go. Thought a large grid hinge should be strong enough. So, if I'm going turret controller, where do I want to have my camera or my viewpoint mounted? I kind of like the idea of possibly sticking a cockpit on the side of this piston. Like that. I'm gonna put the turret controller down here rather than up there. I don't like how it looks. Ow. Where am I unlikely to want to move this from? Let's go there. Control panel to check that all things are built. Oh, the rotor base is still incomplete. Thank you. Good call, Laws. Good suggestion, because the rotor's busted too. I thought I'd welded it up, but I apparently was still missing parts when I did that. Oh, it seems my drills need to go again. The last extension of these drills. Cool. Then I should, instead of extending those drills, I'll have these ones functioning so I can just drill off the side of this even while it remains a static grid. Okay. I should probably also crank up the stopping power and force on that rotor as well.
Fuel critical.
Then... Oh, that's annoying. She's going to keep telling me my fuel is critical now until I can get a bit more hydrogen. Rats. It's going to get really obnoxious. And what are we doing? So I guess I should really be... Ooh, are my drills full? No. My cargo's both full. Almost. Stop. Otherwise I'm wasting stone. It's true. I do ignore it half the time anyways. And death could help me, but I don't like doing cheesy deliberate deaths for stuff like that. Doesn't feel right. Yes, Cherubon. I think my suit wants to tell me that my fuel is at critical levels. Right. Just late enough that you can hear it and do nothing about it before the blammo. Oh yes. And I shan't forget, my inventory is full. What do you guys reckon I could put behind that cockpit to look interesting? Do I just put a catwalk in? Could I put a ladder on if I...
Energy Energy low.
So what I'm thinking is... Ow. What I'm thinking is that the actual part, like some of the parts of the rover will get built up to this block height so that the rotor swings just cleanly over the top, which means I'd be able to walk right up to the cockpit like so. So I'm just debating whether it's something... It feels like it's missing something, but I'm just trying to decide what. Like, would a double railing like that work to make it interesting? What do any of the passageway blocks look like? I think they'll lack for whatever's underneath. Like, it'll feel like it's missing something underneath it. And I don't want to put another block underneath because then the rotor offset might not be enough for everything to clear nicely. As I make it bigger just to make it safe. LCD? Maybe? Something with some sort of information on it. Or something with a warning on it. Yeah, I suppose I could have like a stock script or something. This end up sign. Actually, I like that. I like that. Let's do that. This up. Ow. Just going to point out I didn't intentionally jump off then. I thought I was going to land on the thing and I didn't. And it sounds like the refinery is done, so let's keep this going. I didn't add the Capac Dummies mod, actually. I didn't even add the mod with Black Shadow's cartoons, now that I think about it. That's annoying. Should have at least done that. Now... and... Why do you guys reckon? Maybe down the bottom would look best. Something like that. Oh yeah, color of the font. No, it shouldn't be the same as the thing. Yeah, that kind of works. Cool. And... I mean, the other option would have been to do the background in yellow. But I think that's a bit much. I think it's better in black. Yeah, Commander Sam, I know there's a tree counter mod. It was actually made, I think, sort of for me to use in Wrong Way Up. Unfortunately, for some reason, the Wrong Way Up's dedicated server just has never worked for it. Which is really sad, because I would have happily had it. And I'm sure Nutzel would have enjoyed watching the thing more than having to figure out how many trees we killed. But it's been awesome that Nutzel's been counting them out, because there's, if you look on each Wrong Way Up, there's a comment by Nutzel that says how many trees we've killed, and it is getting into the thousands. Alright, now we have to start setting up the controls in here. Custom turret controller. Azimuth rotor. Mining rig rotor base. Elevation rotor. Mining rig. Hinge base. Ooh, which drills is it? That's annoying.
Fuel critical.
I actually don't know which drills. Oh, actually, it shouldn't matter. I'll just add them all. Because the extra ones will be removed soon, so it shouldn't actually matter. Clang. Clang. There we go. We can move it around, get it off to the side, nice and quick. Then I will set up a control for my rotors. My hinges, I should say. Mining rig hinges. Then it'd be like a reverse on them, I think. Though they're gonna have a set to -2 for both. Let's set the torque up way high. Let's try that again. No, why? Are they missing bits?
Fuel critical.
Why you no work, Hinge? Shut on. Hinge lock off. Hinge is fully made. Hinge is on. Outside the limits. Reversing and getting nada. Why? Inertia tensor doesn't seem to be having an impact. It's still not working without that. Weird. Did they break the hinges again and they're not as strong as they were? Because they fixed the hinges. They made them strong again. But they've broken them again. Really need some lights.
Critical.
And we know that the hinges are strong enough, because, like... Although that one's probably working harder than this one. Yeah, I was hoping to build something relatively simple. But which is why I avoided doing any of my usual piston actuated hinge stuff that I am so fond of normally. No hinge lock. No hinge lock. Share notch tensor off. Let's try that. Both hinge blocks are on. Nothing happening. Lower limits are fine. Oh, this is very disappointing.
Fuel critical.
What would be a way I could add some sort of counterweight without totally messing this thing up? Yeah. Whoops. Let's just see if it is a weight issue by... What I'll do is... Get up high enough. If I add, say... something here. Then... that, and then I should be able to add a bunch of batteries going out that way. That should be a counterweight for both of these hinges. But I'll just have to see if it actually makes any difference. It's going to be hard to stick the counterweight out far enough for it to make a big difference. But hopefully it can make enough so that we can convince ourselves of whether this is the issue, whether it is a power issue. Whether it's something else entirely. Oh, actually, yeah, mass block's probably better. Unbuilt mass block's heavier than a battery. But I can't build any because I haven't got silver stuff, so I can't even place the block because I haven't unlocked it. So back to battery. Ooh, that was a long fall. I feel like I'm just taunting the game at this point with those falls and not dying. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, that's not happy with the Sheridosh tensor off on those hinges. And all that extra weight. Yeah, it should be moving. Alright, I'm trying this. What? Oh, that's my headlights. Ah! Power cycle worked. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bad stuff is happening because I didn't... Yeah! Yeah, need those extra weights off. Also... Your current position is -90 and your upper limit is going to be 0.
Fuel critical.
Ow! Oh, of course. And now because of all that jiggling, that hinge is gone all floppy. Let's get it back to pretty much 0. And this time, get back in control, spin it back around so I can remove the batteries. Oof. Oof. Yeah. Keep forgetting you can't get into the control panel when you're in control of the thingo.
Fuel critical.
Oops. Kinda didn't think that was going to explode so badly. I think I got lucky there. I think I got very lucky there. Whoops. Okay, now I can get rid of that scaffold, right? Let's just check the parts again, see if it's all working. We spin around here. We go... piston. Extend. On off. Tract. Actually, I might make that a group. Do them both at the same time. Otherwise I'm going to have too many controls. Toggle on off. Extend. Retract. So let's push it out. And that's far enough, so let's turn it off. And then reverse the hinges. What? Not again. No. They hate that. Why? Was the weight actually needed? Yeah, I guess you could use a gyro to use its override to provide more force. I did not check to see if anything is damaged, but if we look at the hinges, they're fully constructed, so they are functional. Yep, the velocity is set correctly. Why do I get the feeling it was the power cycling that updated the grid so that it could then take advantage of the counterweight, which allowed it to actually work? Okay, Tex, I'm gonna do that just because it's funny. And it worked. Huh. Jiggle the limits, Tex says. That is a terrifying amount of movement. That's better. Now I just need to... probably set this one to -89 as well, because this is also another issue that happens with the hinges is when their limits are right on 90, they can sometimes get stuck, and that would be, I think, where that comes from, and I completely forgot about it until Tex said jiggle the limits. Because now what I would do is this. Lift it up. What? Oh my... Why? 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 Gah. uh, 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 why? Oh. Interesting. It was just too heavy at that point. So what I'm thinking is, at certain positions, this will be too tall to go straight into the dirt, so I'll have to kind of drill a path to get down there, maybe? Potentially even right-click. What? No, I wanted to right-click drill, not right-click target my base. Oh. And now... Oh. Whoop. Whoop. There we go.
Fuel.
That was only moderately terrifying. And incredibly infuriating. Yeah, I know I'm quite a few meters off the ground, so I think when I do this, I'll have to use the... I'll have to have the drills on the cockpit, so let me just check if this works. If we go block tools, drills. Can't see if it's those ones that are turning. No, it's not. Can we not right-click drill anymore from grids? Or do I have to turn off enable target locking? Yeah, there we go. Can you do that for this? So if I go into controlling this now... No, the turret controller still can't right-click. At least I can from the cockpit, so I should be able to start the drills drilling as they are right now. Press K, open the thing while I'm holding down right-click. Release right-click, close the menu, go into control, and the drills stop. That's going to be painful. Oh well. It'll be what it is. It's also too heavy now for me to lift
Fuel
it.
critical.
No, it's not. What? Why? There we are. And stowed.
Fuel critical.
Wow. I'm getting really good at falling out of that spot. The reason I didn't want the drills just in a group and toggled on and off was I was trying to use the right-click, destroy lots of the ground style of drilling for when I'm bringing the drill down into position, so I can destroy lots of the dirt and then just plunge down to whichever material I'm trying to collect. Cool. So now the thing to do is move my stuff onto the rover. And I would actually like to do this slightly different to what I've done. Because I'm using the 5x5 wheels, I should probably try and make use of more of the depth. I'm also thinking that I may get rid of those those wheels underneath, because they're going to make making it cool on the inside really difficult. But then they are safety devices. Where is the thing? That is the thing I want. Slash poll. Let's increase the text size so you guys can more easily read it on small screens. Should I keep the under wheels? Yes. Prime is best. Or no. Interior design. Go for it. Jeez. I wasn't sure whether Wasted was still going to be here when I asked this question. Yeah, the twin prime constant. This will be interesting how this goes. Let's return to that in a minute. And while waiting, let's move this back so I can somewhere I can see it. I haven't rigged the vote much. I mean, there is my driving to be mindful of, so the wheels underneath may well be of use. But I'm just thinking, like, if I got rid of them, I have this block that I'm standing on to do design with, without making the rover super tall, which is kind of going to be limited by the construction of this monstrosity. So I've kind of only, like, as it is, I've kind of only got 2 blocks in height. So I was kind of thinking, kind of want that space now. I can still, I guess, attempt the prime thing afterwards, but it looks like at the moment, it's a very even split. Okay, the wheels stay. 3 votes in it. I wasn't expecting that to be close. I was expecting to go comfortably one way or the other. One second. Actually, never mind. Let's move stuff. Move stuff, that's what I'm doing. Let's get this thing mobile.
Fuel critical.
Get this thing mobile so I can go and find some ice. So, Wasted, what are your plans for today? Were you going back to do more of your swimmy jetpack thing? Wasted reacts upside down edition. Oh dear God. I say that because I'd probably watch it. And be amused by it. Something else I was thinking, assuming you're still keen, Wasted, would be, even if we can't get Capac in on City Skylines, maybe we could give it a go next week sometime if you're free. Either the equivalent of today or yesterday, which is something we can talk about later. Obviously, ideally, Capac would be part of it, but I'm just not sure that'll be a thing we can arrange with any degree of soonness. Oof, that was close. Cool. Because I'm kind of... Next week I'm going to be trying out the Subnautica mod with Capac again to see how broken it still is. So I thought, let's try all the broken mods. Also, I really wanted to play Skylines. Like, I actually started playing it the other day after we talked about it on the RimWorld stream. I don't use this one much. Let's...
Inventory full.
I was saying I don't use this one much, but that's because it's so big. I've got the parts are the same. I wasn't sure they were 100% the same. Wasted, I look forward to gently encouraging you to mess with people's brains with the use of roundabouts. Because roundabouts are awesome. Four-way stops are weird. There's a city just... So Newcastle, which is just north of... As in the Newcastle that is just north of Sydney in Australia, has heaps of four-way stops. And it's like the only place that I know of in Australia that has them. And the only reason I had any idea how to handle them was from when I was in Canada. They're really broken when you're around people who don't know how to handle them. And even sometimes when you are around people that know how to handle them. Hey, thanks, Joe833. Which I kind of want to read as Jerby. How much do I care about these materials?
Fuel critical.
Sure I do. The amount of time it's going to take me to grind them down and fiddle around with it. The thing I do care about, though, is the tiny little skerrick of ice that I have remaining. Ooh, thought I was going to fall the whole way down then. Goodbye, piston chain. Yep, near indestructible. Oh, you want to build that roundabout, Wasted? The roundabout within roundabouts, the inception of roundabouts. I'd be interested to see how poorly the Skylines AI copes with that and figuring out pathing for it. So I'm feeling as though it's probably going to... The answer to that would be it's going to handle it poorly. Yeah, I'm hoping... I know which mod you mean, Wasted. As in mods that let you control traffic flow better. And I know exactly which ones you mean, and I would hope that they'll work for us in multiplayer, because I would want to use it as well. Because being able to set up your lanes and stuff properly makes a big impact on stuff that's broken. That's not good. Do I have to build a junction in here first? 2 motors to make that work. I might have made a mistake somewhere here, and I may have to go... Oh, I can go down here and get some motors. Ow.
Low.
Cool. Yeah, how do I get out of the hole? Oh, walk up to the thing. It's kind of convenient. Yeah. Yep. Still no O2H2, still no ice. Hmm.
Fuel critical.
That makes more sense. Oh no, the traffic manager doesn't work with multiplayer. Rats. That sucks. I really did enjoy using that mod to make stuff work as you think it should work. Alrighty, here we go. Time to move the survival kit. I love how I seem to always move my survival kit when... What? Why am I getting hurt? When I'm near out of power? Is there a storm and I can't tell? Oh. Thanks, Omni5. Sorry, I did miss that one. Yes, the death hole provides. Don't forget large ore detector and survival kit. Yes. Vent, good point. I will need to put a vent on as well. Oh yeah, good point. There were atmospheric thrusters on the thing too. Probably could have used those for the motors. Whoopsie. I'm going to dump all this because I know there's a lot of ore that I forgot to clear out of that one. I mean, refined ingots that I forgot to clear out. So I want to have enough inventory space to carry as much of it as possible. Iron. Silicon.
Inventory full.
Did I pick up gravel? I did. Four horsemen of the stream apocalypse. Splitsy, Splatsy, Flipsy and oopsie. Do you know, I almost did call my second channel Oopsie. And then decided I preferred Flipsy.
Inventory.
It
full.
seemed fitting initially. Hey, thanks so much, Omnify. Thanks for the bits and the gift subs and all. Now... let's do a very Capac solution. What? Oh, it's too big. Oop. Can't do my Capac solution. I'm not sure whether I'll leave the scaffolding or not. I'm just grabbing the stuff that I think is
Inventory.
important. And then I'll probably just detach the thing and drive away. I'm kind of using the blocks that are on the base as a reminder of what blocks I need to place so I don't get too many things missing when I finally detach. I know I need to add an ore detector. That's important.
Inventory full.
And I'll need to grab the stuff from those engines because that'll be convenient. And I will need to, at some point, add a few time blocks to the Rover so that I can have the swivel hinge on the end of the mining rig swing back and forth. And a vent. Oh yes. Vent, vent, vent. Must have a vent.
Inventory
Ah.
full.
Why do antennae have such
Fuel
large
critical.
components? I am really going to want that vent soon, aren't I? I have not put a maglock to secure the crane during travel. I wasn't intending to do that, Tex. Local hosted game and all that. Should be fine. You know what I think we should do here? I'll grab the last couple of bits I need to get from this. And then we're going to cut these towers down and just watch them fall. Cause... what? I thought the storm was done. Huh. Weird. What was I saying? I'm gonna tip.
Inventory.
I'm gonna go
full.
timber to the towers. Yeah, the pod is angry because I'm killing it. It's trying to take me out, but it's dying moments. And this is something that is just tradition and has to be done. Because it's being left behind. Right, cool. Let's set up my wheels and a cockpit and an ore detector. Then I will detach. Or... Yeah, I have to leave little red batteries lying around all over the place. It's just a thing. Push it in the hole. Ooh, maybe. Yeah, I'll need more batteries on the Rover soonish, but not yet. The 2 batteries that are on here are fully charged, so they'll last me a bit. Or pretty much fully charged. Okay, and cockpit. Let's go helm. Oh wait, that does have the cockpit helm. Oh. Wheels. Let's just put the strength up to something a bit higher. Height offset all the way down. Handbrake on. Cool.
Fuel critical.
Alright. I have no way to get up or down once I do this. Problem. Oh. Take some steel plate with me as I drop it off. I'll figure it out. Here we go. Cool. I didn't destroy everything. Yay! Look at that. Success. Ooh. Those ride really low. Could be an issue. So I should build ladders. Now we drive forward, get out of the way, and then timber to the turbine towers. And the suspension strength is way too high. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't too soft for the release. Here we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Somewhat satisfying. Not quite as satisfying as it. Oh, wait. Huh, forgot about that hole. Really? Really? Oops. Oh dear! Oh dear. Okay, that one got a little bit closer to me. Hello? Actually, you know what? It's near the Oops. It's near the hovering bush. It can stay. Now, can I push this? Yes, I can. Yes, I could. Now I can't. Huh. 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 Heh. I'm glad that the tradition of burning houses down for Icarus has spread. I was playing with one of my mates from work last night, and we were going to do the same thing, except our house had already burned down before we got there. Alrighty. We have Rover working. Let's get the ore detector up to max range, because I know I'll forget about that if I don't do it now. And we're on a roll. Now I can try and find some ice and hopefully then build some hydrogen engines on this thing, drill out some cobalt and other stuff as I find it along the way. And I've actually got a sort of base that I think might work well on Pertum. I'm thinking there's a decent chance I'll be back doing more of this save at some point. I'd like to at least get this Rover to a style and design that I think is fun and cool. I don't know when that might work out. If Wasted and I manage to get the City Skylines mod working, that'll probably fill up some of next week, but we'll see how we go. And also if I can get back to recording more Survival Impossible, that would be nice too. But I am going to spend the remainder of today fiddling with all of my computer components and trying to get them to work. If you're wanting more Space Engineers, I think Wasted is going to be starting some soon. Is that correct, Mr. Space? Or has he already started? He is going live. So if you want to watch more Space Engineers survival shenanigans, hang around for that. Otherwise, I will be back on Saturday with some more Icarus over on the Flipsy YouTube channel. This is all that and plenty more to come. And I will see you then. And let's raid a Wasted. Start the raid. Or is it not liking me? What's it doing? It's saying he's NA. This is weird. Look at that. Guess he's only just started. You are already... What? Oh, I've broken Twitch. I have so broken Twitch. Says I'm already waiting Wasted Space. What? Yeah, I broke Twitch. Oh, man. I'll see you all later. Have a good night, everybody.